Insurance, a legacy of trust. Serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus, Guam's leader in sustainability and electric vehicles. Learn more at carsplusguam.com. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime, an elderly woman cries for help. A family is divided after allegations of abuse surface. The details coming out from the Superior Court of Guam. Plus, is the Democratic team of San Nicolas Solis Matanani throwing in their hat in the ring for the Republican team of Camacho Ada ahead of November's general election? Nestor Lecanto with the details. And reconnecting access between Saipan and Japan. Regional correspondent Tomas Manglotnya with a look at a monumental arrival 10 years in the making. Hafide, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Primetime. I'm Hannah Devonzo.
And I'm Nick Delgado. Thanks so much for ending your week with us.
And we begin tonight with a story unraveling out of the Superior Court of Guam, an elderly woman crying out for help.
The woman is 84-year-old Maria Dellin. She's alleging that her adult daughter has been physically abusive and is trying to kick her out of the one place she's called home for 40 years. Dededo resident Maria Dellin made her pleas from outside of a courtroom Friday at the Superior Court.
I need her, please. I need her to stay away. Grace, stay away with me. Stay away from you?
Okay.
Because I got scared. Shocked up. I got scared. Shocked, afraid.
Dellin wants protection from her daughter, Mary Grace Jacot, the 83-year-old, taking the matter to court hoping her cries for help are answered. On May 10th, Dellin alleges that Jacot went to her Dededo home unannounced and forcefully changed the locks. Most of Dellin's interview with KUAM was given with the assistance of a translator.
Grace came here at the home, in the house,
Saltanto, so lock na abong.
to change the locks of the house.
Dellin asked her to stop when she alleges that Jacot got physical.
Because she's more stronger, she was able to push me. So she was pushed back and then she was able to lay on the bed in her room. She continued to push me, and that was the reason why I fell at the side of the bed. When she was planning to stand up, she went to her back. Grace pushed her. Grace put her hand on my head, and that is the reason why she had to push me, and that was me having difficulty in breathing.
Medical records and photos filed in court show bruises on Dellin, the incident leaving her in fear to this very day. Dellin says she had reported the allegations to police. Officers brought her daughter in for questioning, but at the advice of the Attorney General's office, Guam police were ordered to release Jacot from custody. Now, the complaint is a civil matter before Judge Dana Gutierrez, who will decide if a permanent restraining order should be granted. The court already issuing a temporary restraining order against Jacot. During Friday's hearing, Maria Dellin's other daughter, Lizelle Dellin, testified, quote, "My mom was scared with the way Grace treats her. My mom is afraid of losing her house. My mom is capable of living alone. She wants to be in that house. That's all she wished for until she dies. She built a life in that house with my dad. All she asks from each one of us is that she live in that house."
She said, her response, she said, she's not going to be moving out of the house. She's going to stay in the house until she dies.
Jacot, the 2018 Businesswoman of the Year awardee and CEO of Set Pacific Inc., has since denied the allegations, previously claiming that it was her mother who attacked her during the incident back in May. Jacot's attorney also argued she is the rightful owner of the property. The case is ongoing in local court. As for why the AGs instructed police to immediately release Jacot after the complaint was filed, a spokesperson tells me the matter is under review.
And despite widespread speculation, former Democratic gubernatorial candidate Michael San Nicolas has not yet announced who he might be supporting for the general election. But that doesn't mean there hasn't been any signs of where he's leaning. Nestor Lecanto has more.
This recent photo is what's fueled the talk that he will endorse the Republican team of Felix Camacho and Tony Ada. During KUAM's weekly political analysis segment, The Hub, we asked their senior campaign advisor, Sean Gumatauto, about that.
I think it'd be absolutely crazy to think that it did not. I think that when friends and family are having dinner together, talking about the results of an election, that folks who support both aren't going to get a little bit revved up. I think that for all of us, the community is focusing on, yes, partisan for the most part, right? But what do we want to see for Guam at the end of the day? And so the image is perhaps speaking to that.
But there's more. The Republican Party held its annual Lincoln Dinner Thursday night, and San Nicolas's running mate Sabrina Salas Matanani was there as the special guest of former Governor Camacho.
Obviously, it was great to see her. Hadn't seen her the entire cycle, so it was, I think she was well received by many of those who were in attendance, and I think for the most part, her being there was very important for that event, because it was like, wow, she's here. But also Jen Uggan was there too, Frank Uggan's wife, and she was on the campaign trail with First Lady Joanne. So it was kind of a way to kind of get everyone kind of riled up. But it was a great Lincoln dinner.
Gumatauto suggests it may have been the biggest Lincoln dinner they've ever had, which was at the ballroom of the Dusit Hotel. For KUAM News, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
In response to the images of the two gubernatorial teams photographed together, the Leon Guerrero Tenorio campaign stating in part, quote, it's a very delicate situation, and since Delegate Michael San Nicolas has yet to call Governor Leon Guerrero to concede his race and offer his support to her for the general election, the collegial thing to do is to put that on pause and proceed to reach out to everyone asking for support for the general election.
President Joe Biden delivering a speech Thursday night described as the continued battle for the soul of the nation. Republicans say he's not focused on the more important issues. CBS Christina Ruffini has the latest from Washington.
President Biden took aim at what the White House calls the extreme wing of the Republican Party during a primetime speech at Philadelphia's Independence Hall.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
President Biden says former President Trump's hardline supporters pose a threat to American democracy and asked traditional Republicans to condemn violent rhetoric.
History tells us that blind loyalty to a single leader and a willingness to engage in political violence is fatal to democracy.
Speaking in the president's hometown of Scranton, Pennsylvania, House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy said Mr. Biden is trying to distract Americans from other issues like the economy.
Washington and the White House aren't listening. They just don't get it.
A new CBS News poll found 7 out of 10 Americans believe democracy and the rule of law are under threat. That's about the same as in the days following the January 6th attack. On Thursday, former NYPD Detective Thomas Webster was sentenced to 10 years in prison for assaulting police during the riot at the Capitol. Former President Trump told the Wendy Bell radio show that he will pardon the rioters if he's reelected.
If I decide to run and if I win, I will be looking very, very strongly about pardons.
On Friday, former Trump White House counsel Pat Cipollone is expected to appear before the federal grand jury investigating January 6th. Christina Ruffini, CBS News, Washington.
Now to a robbery in Mighty, the aftermath caught on camera. Take a look at this surveillance video captured off Robat Street in Mighty on Wednesday. The video showing several men gathering along the street. Authorities saying the victim was at a nearby supermarket walking to the employee parking lot when a complete stranger armed with a knife ran toward him and pushed him to the ground. The victim fell and blacked out after hitting his head on the pavement. He later awoke to find that his cell phone was stolen. It was as the victim was at the police precinct, he spotted his alleged attacker being brought in by police. The suspect was picked up for a public intoxication. The victim allegedly telling officers his attacker tried to kill him. 27-year-old Aim Bisalan is facing charges of robbery, terrorizing, and assault, along with a special allegation for possession and use of a deadly weapon.
And a serial school burglar will undergo a second forensic evaluation to determine if he is fit to stand trial. 31-year-old Stan Ricaldi pleaded insanity to 8 counts of burglary after being accused of breaking into several public schools earlier this year. At least one of the alleged incidents caught on camera. He allegedly told police he would do it again. Defense claims Ricaldi suffers from schizotypal personality disorder. Superior Court Judge Alberto Tolentino granted his request to be evaluated again. And his name is now Oliver, and the Department of Agriculture is turning to the community to help find those responsible for a brutal attack on him. We should warn you, the images are graphic. The medium-sized white and tan stray dog was found at around 8 a.m. in East Hagåtña. It had 3 deep cuts on its neck, suspected to have been made with a machete or a sharp instrument. About 2 hours earlier, Oliver was spotted on surveillance behind Fred Gabriel Building in East Hagåtña. Although animal control was called, the rescue group Booney Flight Project stepped in first and took the injured dog to the American Medical Clinic. It took more than 30 stitches to repair the 3 cuts. Oliver is now in foster care with the Booney Flight Project and will be placed up for adoption once he's recovered. If you have any information regarding this case, contact Agriculture's Animal Health Division at 671-300-7964 or email quarantine@doag.guam.gov.
Now to an important update to the story we brought you primetime Thursday. The Guam Department of Education investigation into a TikTok video where high school students are seen vaping in a Dedito campus is ongoing. The story highlighting health and safety concerns for the activity captured in the recording. The Guam Education Board chair saying that this type of behavior is not tolerated in the school system. While the story shared a very important message for our youth, you may have noticed it was removed from our platforms. The story causing a buzz online that turned ugly. A student, a minor, was targeted by many and bullied, and we won't stand for it. To the student in the video in question, I apologize for how the story came out. This is a clear lesson for us all. We'll be right back.
Subscribe to our KUAM News Digest, our weekly email newsletter with all kinds of information straight to your inbox. Just subscribe and we'll make sure to keep you informed and entertained with news from the KUAM News team, what to watch on NBC and CBS, and the latest promotions from KUAM Communications. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab at the top of the homepage, register, and you're all set. Brought to you by Uno Go, Guam On Demand.
The rising cost of living is affecting all of us on Guam. Our administration has expanded a program. We want to pay for your child's daycare up to $675 a month per child. This means more money in your pocket to pay for other expenses like the cost of gas and groceries. The Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration is investing in Guam's future, and that starts by supporting our working families. We are all in this together, Guam.
This ad is paid for by government funds at the Office of the Governor and the Department of Public Health and Social Services.
Hey, can we talk?
Okay.
Half a day.
Hi.
That will be $20, please.
I forgot my Mobile Smiles Driver's Rewards card.
No worries. You can now use your registered mobile number to earn points.
Can I use my mobile number to redeem rewards?
Sure. Just show us your photo ID or driver's license.
That's easy.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
Welcome back to KUAM News Primetime. Some news behind bars. 35 inmates at the Department of Corrections have completed a special training program to equip themselves for life after prison. Through funding from GITA, the Guam Trades Academy handed out basic construction certificates along with a new sense of purpose to the inmates. Governor Lou Leon Guerrero.
The military buildup is growing. They will need workers in the areas of trades, in the area of construction, in the areas of plumbing, in the areas of welding, in the areas of electricity, utilities. Those are the kinds of vocational trades that you probably will succeed in.
These new skill sets can help them find jobs in construction after their time in prison. Those who are interested can also go back to Guam Trades Academy and further their education.
Well, Hannah, after more than a decade, the Narita and Saipan United route is finally back. It touched down in the CNMI early just before 2 a.m. today, marking a renewed investment in the Japanese tourism market.
Regional correspondent Tomas Manglutnia was there for the inaugural flight and files this report.
Guys were actually fantastic coming in.
Pilot Errol Lee flew one of the last flights from Narita to Saipan. Over a decade later, he's back on the runway, ushering in United's Boeing 737, which can carry 166 passengers.
So be able to connect those bridges and bring people home to their loved ones, and even bring in commerce being a big deal to us as well as to the island, I'm sure.
They're taking flight 3 times a week. It's part of a $15 million ARP federal fund investment in resurrecting the tourism market in Japan.
The only way for CNMI's economy to grow is to increase flights to come in.
The flight is on a 6-month trial with the option for a year extension. And how confident are you that this will survive beyond 6 months?
Well, Thomas, this is what we do. We try everything that we can to bring in economy. I'm confident that first step is bringing them back. In the past they've lost airlines to come here. We continue to push and make it a priority.
With Japan easing its COVID restrictions, officials also look forward to providing local residents access to Asia and connecting flights beyond.
This really gives customers wanting to come to Saipan a different option, a direct option, without having to, stop over or lay over in Guam. And so we figure that this is a great opportunity for us to provide that direct service that's not in the market today, something that's going to be consistent, for the forthcoming future.
Tomas Manglutnia for KUAM News on Saipan.
And Pacific Island leaders will be joined by U.S. President Joe Biden in the upcoming U.S. Pacific Island Country Summit on September 28th and 29th. Island officials will meet with Biden at the White House. National media reports that it is in an effort to counter China's reach in the Pacific. Biden wrote to FSM President Panuelo saying, quote, "I look forward to hearing your views and ideas and drive sustainable growth and development for all the people of the Pacific Islands and the United States," end quote. Panuelo says his top agenda items include a returned presence of the Peace Corps, U.S. Coast Guard's role in responding to maritime security threats, and climate change. KUAM has reached out to Guam Governor Lou Leon Guerrero and CNMI Governor Torres for comment on whether or not they are part of the talks.
Well, Hannah, there's definitely a bug going around with the start of flu season. One local doctor breaks down why so many island residents have been catching it recently. Daniel Perez reports.
When people come in and sick, we see an uptake on the influenza A. So when a person comes in and gets sick, we test them both for COVID and influenza, A and B. And it's kind of about 1/3 to influenza and about 2/3 to COVID.
Both people, young and old, are catching the sniffles, and as Dr. Homo once said, it's a combination of both the flu and COVID.
But there is a way to avoid catching the flu, and it's a simple one. And with the island having a high vaccination rate against COVID, it's only a matter of getting a booster shot to better protect yourself further from the virus.
I know the flu shot is in most of the clinics, so I encourage people to go to their primary care physician and get the flu shot. It's an annual shot, and you don't get sick like the COVID shots.
Dr. Wen encourages parents to get their children the flu shot, especially now that classes are back in session.
There's no mask mandate in school, and and the kids have spent their time indoor most of the day. So I would say the parents get your children vaccinated with the flu vaccine. Okay, and it's pretty easy to do. I think most of you can walk in.
Dr. Wen says that Guam's flu season correlates with Japan's flu season, and that by November, an uptick in influenza cases can be expected until March 2023. Daniel Perez reporting for KUAM News.
A bill to promote an electric vehicle industry on Guam drew positive testimony today at a public hearing. The measure by Senator Jim Moylan would allow GITA to include EV products and services in already established green technology incentive programs. While Guam is in the infant stage of a widespread EV use, proponents such as Walter Ujoa of Sun Energy
Switching
Motors,
to EVs
which sells
and
electric
helping
motors,
establish related industries on island will go a long way toward reducing costs in transportation, providing for a cleaner and quieter environment, and helping stem the outflow of millions of dollars every year to purchase fuel.
Guam Regional Transit Authority Interim General Manager Richard Ibanez also supporting the bill and briefing senators on plans for new electric buses and a charging station to augment the current fleet.
And the president of Palau, Serengel S. Whips Jr. is expected to be on Guam on September 10th. Whips will be participating in a town hall at the Palau Culture Center in Dededo. They are calling on the Palauan community to attend the meeting at 6 p.m. Some items on the agenda up for discussion include Palau's minimum wage, the economy, compacts negotiations, and quality of life. Whips and other island officials recently completed a visit of all 16 states in Palau. For more information, you can call the Palau Consulate Office at 671-646-9281 or email Guam Palau Consulate Office at gmail.com. And don't believe a social media post about an impending typhoon. The Guam Office of Homeland Security and Civil Defense and the National Weather Service advise that it's a long outdated post and is not a reflection of the current condition. In a news release, they remind the community to check for dates on images or articles circulating and verify information before sharing further. The NWS predicts mostly dry weather and gentle trade winds through the weekend and Labor Day Monday.
And stay tuned. Next is Dave Delgado with your local sports roundup.
And still to come, your birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club and this week's winner. You're watching KUAM.
Guam was once home to over 12 native species of forest birds, each with their own unique sound, color, and role to play in our ecosystem. However, the arrival of the brown tree snake has threatened their existence. Today, only 3 of these species still exist in the wild. But what was once lost can be restored. Join the Department of Agriculture's efforts to restore our ecosystem. It is only through partnerships with various organizations and the community that we can give our native birds a future. Support snake suppression.
The all-new Hyundai Tucson.
I have a phone. I have no TV. Ooh, TV on phone.
Get live TV on your phone or any device with DTV Plus from Docomo Pacific.
Watch live channels or stream from your favorite apps on any device, all from your home Wi-Fi. No cable lines, no hassle, more savings. All for only $35 a month with your Link Bundle. DTV Plus, your cable TV on Wi-Fi.
Ooh, TV on phone.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
With me on the show, Will Stinnett, the tournament coordinator for the FSM basketball tournament going down here at the Guam Sports Complex Gym. Hats off to the FSM community for coming out and showing up real big.
Yes, I just really like to thank everybody that came out, the fans, the participants especially. We were able to get 12 teams to participate in the double elimination games. Great opening ceremony. We played 3 times a week. Now we're down to our final 4 teams left. So 3 more games. You know, congratulations to the teams that's made it so far. Natives playing NBI, the winner advances to Micro Friends that's in the championship for the losers bracket. And, you know, congratulations to 4 Stars. They're waiting for the championship game, which the games will continue next week.
The games and the teams that were involved with this tournament, it was free for them to join.
Yeah, I mean, special thanks to the sponsors, the Gov and the LT for sponsoring. Just great to get, you know, the game of basketball brings everybody together. It was just not the FSM teams, FAS teams, but also each team are allowed to get 2 local, anybody that from Guam, so 2 players on each team. And, you know, they made, you know, you saw some of Guam's best basketball players come out and, you know, for them to mingle and intertwine and communicate and, you know, be friends on the court, it's a good thing to see.
Being a part of youth basketball on Island, also being a captain of the men's national basketball team, you've seen how basketball brings the community together.
Just to bring everybody together, and through sports gives kids another outlet, kind of gives them another, you know, something to focus on and some goals that they could try to achieve, you know, maybe practice more so we can make it, you know, for the teams that could do better for the next tournament, which is something that I'm already planning, kind of make this, you know, happen more often than not. You know, we're out of the COVID, so just good. And, you know, everybody's motivated. They're the ones that have been eliminated want to come back and play again. So, you know, bring the community together and just give them another avenue, another escape from doing other things that's, you know, not necessarily good for them.
There is a wider range of age level players here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this one good thing about this tournament is you got all age groups. So you had, you know, your younger kids growing up, you know, the kids that are still middle school, high school, you know, playing against guys that just graduated, some of the top, you know, Island's best high school players, also playing against older guys that have been running, you know, with the FSM leagues for the past 15, 20 years. So, I mean, just to see that age group and get kind of that networking from the young age, you know, the younger basketball players and then the older basketball players, you know, it's good to see that. And if you've never been to an FSM, like an event, whether it be basketball, track and field, volleyball, the fans come out and it's supportive and it's, you know, it's fun to be part of it. You know, we play music during the game and just to see everybody have fun and bring the community together. It's been a great turnout. I mean, it's good to see some of the FSM leaders come out and help out with this event. You know, it's the first kind of major event since COVID. Just to see different leaders in different parts of the community, whether it be in government side or public health side, it's good to have everybody come out.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Every person in this world is unique.
I'm a celebrity makeup artist and a content creator.
I'm the vice president of our company and a very proud grandma.
I'm a Filipino and I am 7 years old.
I would say I am always an eternal student.
I define beauty as being empowered, just feeling beautiful as who you are.
I am a Chmol, born and raised in Guam.
저는 사랑이 최고라고 생각합니다.
Inahan pamilya ko, pamilyang Maheto.
謙虚であるということとは重んじます。
It is valuing our differences, respecting one another, and sharing a deep love for our island.
is what makes us one people.
Calvo Select Care's comprehensive medical provider network offers our members choice and access to quality facilities locally in Asia, Hawaii, and the continental United States. We provide our members several wellness programs and healthy options to improve their overall health status. Calvo Select Care, healthcare that's always there for you. Contact us today for more information.
Welcome back. While we wrap up the show with your birthday shout-outs, here's Jason Solis.
Happy birthday on September the 2nd to Simran Sachdev. Happy birthday, Simran. Love Mom, Dad, Papa, Grandma, Dadaji, and Bibiji. We hope you have a fantastic birthday. Jerome Antalan, happy birthday number 51 to you, good sir, and we wish you good health and endless blessings. We love you, says your entire family. Jennifer Pareto, raise your cans of seltzers to Miss Jennifer, who celebrates her birthday on September the 2nd and all weekend. Wow. Have a very happy birthday, Jen, from your Better Brunch Bureau and the family. And they all say cheers. Hey, get them up. And last but certainly not least, Tony Guerrero. Happy birthday to the master of margaritas and queen of our hearts, Tony Guerrero. We love you. All right, so lots and lots of libations. Please be safe, everybody. And to all four of you who had a birthday today, happiest of birthday wishes from us at KUAM.
And it's that time of the week where we announce the winner of a delicious Cold Stone Creamery birthday cake.
This week's winner is Quinn Harper Tabayoyong, who was born on August the 22nd. Quinn, we hope you and your family enjoy your special prize, which is a Cold Stone Creamery ice cream cake. And tell you what, one of us from KUAM is going to reach out to all of you to let you know when you can go and redeem your prize and have a fantastic dessert or lunch or breakfast. That's cool too. Well, enjoy and have a happy extended birthday.
And we hope you have a happy Labor Day weekend as well. That's our show. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Hannah Devonzo. Please stay safe, KUAM. Good night.
Howdy guys, and welcome back to another special edition of the One Micronesia podcast. We're here at the beautiful UOG for the 2022 Micronesian Youth Forum, the second one. I believe the first one was back in 2019. So joining me here on the podcast, I always love her presence here on the podcast, the amazing Samantha Taintano.
Yes, thank you so much. It's so nice to be here in person with you. We've been doing lots of Zoom interviews, but it's so nice to finally be in person and to be here at this event today.
That's awesome. So, you know, Sam, let's kind of bring it back in time just a little bit. You know, the first one was 2019. You know, so seeing, let's talk more about like how that one went versus how the outcome of today's event.
Yeah, so back in 2019, we had a bunch of our partners come together knowing that we really wanted to create a space for kids to come together and freely discuss sort of their opinions and insights into some of the things that were happening on our island. We used a lot of poetry, actually. So we used a lot of poetry from around the region to start conversations about different kinds of things, from health to substance use to just cultural diversity and different things like that. And it was a beautiful time. It was actually here. It was in the same venue, so it's really nice to kind of come back here and do the same thing. From there, we were able to kind of have the kids really talk about what concerns they had and then bring that back with them to their schools.
That's amazing. And like I said, there was such an amazing event in 2019, and it so happened that 2020 came and nobody saw that coming. COVID-19 pretty much put people back in there, like a lot of things.
Yes, and we had already been in the plans for the 2021, and you know, COVID put a stop to it, but we had, you know, kind of put all of those plans back in our pocket, and we're like, okay, when the time is right, we're going to bring the Youth Forum back. We knew that it's an important event for the kids, and so 2022, we're finally here, making it happen again, so we're really excited.
Yes, and you know, like I did check out the different sessions that we have for today's event, and you can see it in these kids in their eyes and how much attention they're paying towards these presentations from these different navigators who we've got navigators from all aspects of life. That's
Yes.
amazing. Talk about more about how that came.
Yes, so we know, just like your podcast, one of the things that we're always promoting is One Micronesia and really highlighting the different people throughout that are making differences, making impacts in their community and even further beyond that. And so it was important to us to make sure that we were gathering subject matter experts that were diverse and that were excited to engage the kids and excited to discuss with them and could not only pass on their knowledge, but could kind of guide conversations. And so we were really excited to really name them navigators because we're hoping to, help these kids kind of navigate through life, through the journey of life with these role models.
And it's so fitting. We're islanders. And
yes.
One of the main things that we were so proud of is our navigation, the tradition that's being being taught, and it's definitely continuing. And we have a master navigator.
We have a master navigator here, and it's not only something that's a cultural tradition in all of Micronesia, but it connects us.
Exactly.
It keeps us all connected. So.
Man, Sam. So before I let you go, the kids here had a great time. Let's talk the future a little bit. Are you looking to have another one, let's say in another year, and make it grow? And what's in the work? Is there any plans? I mean, we're actually still in the event, but looking at how the reaction is, are you guys excited for another one?
Yes, so definitely this will be an annual event. Actually, part of this event, and one of the things that we wanted to grow from the last Micronesian Youth Forum is that after this, all of these different breakout sessions that we're having, all of these groups, their challenge is to create an awareness activity around what they kind of talked about, what they learned today, so that we can spread the information, we can spread the knowledge, we can spread the empowerment. So that's kind of part of it, right? We don't want to just have this one-off thing. It's like, yes, one events are always really nice, right? Because they can inspire and they can spark ideas, but we also want to continue to empower them throughout. So these awareness activities, and then we're hoping in the future to also be able to do something more regularly, but then also have this as a culminating event. So a lot more in the future for us.
All right, well, Sam, you, the team, the sponsors, everybody who helped put this together, thank you guys so much. And like I said, it was such an epic success. So congratulations.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, Samantha Taitano, guys, from Manielu and the Micronesia Resource Center. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we get to talk to one of the navigators who are here to speak to the youth. We'll be right back. You're watching the One Micronesia podcast.
Hi today, I'm Kalina from Docks Kitty College.
And I'm Kristen from Docks Daycare and Preschool.
And we are so honored to be caring for the children of Guam. The governor's childcare programs help businesses like ours to really focus on the kids. These programs also help nonprofits and after-school programs and grandparents and so many families.
Visit www.guamchildcare.com to learn more about the governor's childcare programs. This ad is paid for with funds administered by DPHSS.
All that melty cheese you crave with double the steak is back at Taco Bell. The double steak grilled cheese burrito.
Local Music Mashup. For the first 3 Thursdays of every month, sit back, relax, and vibe out as we showcase Guam's local talent through their video submissions. Tune in for Local Music Mashup on KUAM TV8 at 6:30 p.m. and TV11 at 7:30 p.m. Or catch it on KUAM digital platforms. You're not going to want to miss this.
Local Music Mashup is brought to you by Burger King, BK Your Way, and American Music, located in the Compadres Mall. KUAM Communication is your home for star-studded entertainment from America's top networks. From specials, concerts, award shows, and can't-miss red carpet moments. It's all on KUAM TV8 and KUAM TV11. Check KUAM.com and our social media pages for showtimes and schedules. Network specials on KUAM Communications are brought to you locally by King's Restaurants, Ruby Tuesday Guam, and Docomo Pacific.
Do you love live sports? Then you need GTA Digital TV. GTA has the most sports SD and HD channels on Guam, ESPN, Fox, NFL Network and Red Zone, NBA TV in HD, and so much more. We got MMA and boxing fans covered too. Plus, with TV everywhere, never miss the big game or fight again. Get your sports on with GTA Digital TV.
Hafide, and welcome back. One Micronesia podcast. We're still here at the beautiful UOG. It's the 2022 Micronesian Youth Forum. And earlier I talked to Samantha Taitano, the director of Manielu and the Micronesian Resource Center. And now I get to sit down with a good friend of mine. Oh my God, I think this is like the first time we've done this face-to-face.
Yeah,
with all the Zoom interviews and everything.
It's been a minute. Now we're here. Yep.
And it feels good. It feels good to be.
It does. It does. It's actually good to see you. How
I know.
you doing?
See, we can do this now.
Yep.
So, you're here as a navigator. You're amongst many navigators who are here today to speak to the youth and to whatever field they come from, to kind of give their take on what they do and to kind of inspire the youth. And you, amongst all of them, has so much rooted in this Micronesian Youth Forum. And I know you were a big part of it, the first one in 2019. So, let's talk about it. The difference, what you saw in 2019 and what you're seeing here today.
Oh man, it really, bringing back here at the University of Guam, the lecture hall, had this nostalgic feeling that just came over me. And of course, you giving the moment of silence to honor Ed and everything. He was one of the many pillars that was a part of it. Samantha Taitano, of course, Action, Ed and myself, and just different people within the community helping collaborate to bring the first Micro One or the One Micronesia Youth Forum into light. And it was really sitting there mapping out how we're going to get the audience, who's going to be here, how we're going to get the kids here, the logistics and everything. So being part of the planning phase, finding the mechanism that's going to work. Of course, anytime you do something new, failure to launch is never an option. And I want to say the first forum set the tone for many forums to come. And unfortunately, COVID, was inserted into the picture. We hit the first Micro One Youth Forum or the One Micronesia Forum, and we were planning already for the second, third, and fourth forum. And eventually, here we are now in our second annual, our youth forum, and I think we've tripled the numbers. Manielu and Micronesian Resource Center have actually tripled the numbers, and I'm really overwhelmed by the amount of students that are here on a Saturday.
I know, of all the days, right?
Saturday. These kids can be sleeping in past 10, 11 o'clock, being teenagers that they are, but I came in a little bit after 8:30 and there was a line waiting to come in. So the eagerness, the anticipation, and of course the excitement that Manielu and Micronesian Resource Center has brought to the community is reflected on the participation here today. So
I want to kind of bring it back in time, and I remember I talked about it at that moment of a moment of silence for Brother Ed. Talk about that story. You mentioned that to me, that story of how this whole the term came, the Micronesia, and then take one, and then create.
It was really Action and Ed that came up with it. They were just doodling and messing with it, and they put it all together and everything, and it was really. The timing of that was, I want to say, it was impeccable because of what was going on in the community. There was so much clashes between the different cultures that we had. Of course, it was sparked by that incident that happened here in Palau, and the youth forum, the coming up with the One Micronesia or the Micro One approach, where many islands, one impact, right, and how we're going to steer this type of forum, not just within the youth, but within the community. It was really the two, Ed and Action, just doodling and coming up with this, and we took that and we actually utilized that into what we did with outreaches and everything in line of what was happening at that time. The community wanted they wanted to see different changes and everything, and when you started the podcast and everything, Sabrina had reached out and she goes like, look, Cello, what can we do to really showcase the good, showcase what's out there, the positivity. Flipping the script on media was really something in which Sabrina wanted to do and really showcase the good. And by her allowing us to do that, it really gravitated to where we are now, and that is really the genesis of how it came about. Action and Ed, Ed was instrumental in a lot of the great success here, and it was really, I was talking to his sister, man, and it was like,